I work for my family business. We create educational products like the ones that you can see behind me. We've been around for over 100 years. Today, we decided to sue the president and the Trump administration over the reciprocal tariff policy. Not only do we believe these tariffs are illegal, but we believe that the economic implications of these tariffs could be catastrophic. And that's why we've decided to stand up. We're asserting our rights on behalf of the 500 employees who work for us and the thousands of other small and medium-sized businesses who are affected. And so that's just what I wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to let people know that we're out there and we're doing something and we're trying to fight this.
We just announced today a new lawsuit against the Trump administration. He does not have the right under the International Economic Emergency Power Act to impose these tariffs. We're not going to stand back, and we're not going to continue to get rolled, particularly industries like agriculture, a $48 billion a year industry here in the state of California, largest manufacturing state in America, $412 billion a year in economic output. The impact these tariffs, these taxes are having on industries that are export dependent, particularly industries like the almond industry. Almonds, pistachios, and dairy alone in the state of California represent 43% of our exports to Mexico, Canada, and China. California is going to court to make sure the Trump administration backs down.
Lots and lots of business owners are beginning to sue the current administration for their policies, which is affecting their inflow of cash in their businesses. They are like, this tariff thing is, harming the business, is not working for them. This is not what they all wanted. This is not what they voted for, according to them. They are pleading. You have some of them who are pleading for mercy. Then you have a lot of them who are now saying, we are just suing. And some of them who are just talking about it without even adding any kind of action to it. Well, a lot is currently happening because lots and lots of MAGAs keep losing money on a daily basis after they had voted for the administration that they felt was going to better their lives. But right now, it looks like they got betrayed at the end. Well, guys, you're welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So I'm just going to let these videos roll, then we come back and talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment as we watch together, and please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it, and credit to all creators on this video. So let's go watch, then we come back with the commentary.
Trump's policies have been so bad and so damaging for the economy that even his own voters in red states are having to sue him to get him to stop. The latest group to enjoin themselves in a lawsuit, or at least attempt to, is the Montana Farmers Union. Montana, by the way, is in fact a red state, and farmers overwhelmingly as a demographic voted for Donald Trump. And now those same people, red voters in a red state who helped put this guy in power, have been so screwed by the policies of the man they picked that they're now having to sue him to put an end to the trade war. But here's the thing. This lawsuit that the Montana Farmers Union has or is attempting to enjoin was not originally filed by them. In fact, the original lawsuit was filed by the Blackfeet Nation in the state of Montana for Trump's trade policies that are in violation, they claim in the suit, of the native treaties that they have had in place since the 1700s. And of course, they argue that no, you do not have the administrative authority to put these tariffs in place. But more importantly, we're also exempted from all of this due to the treaties that have been in place for over 200, almost 250 years. So here's what the Blackfeet Nation lawsuit says. The suit claims the tariffs violate a 1794 treaty exempting the tribes along the United States-Canadian border from being taxed or levied on goods between the nation. It also challenges the Trump administration's ability to use emergency powers to bypass Congress to impose tariffs. Now, the suit that the Montana Farmers Union has filed in conjunction with this, attempting to enjoin themselves into this lawsuit, says this. Because of the president's tariffs, their goods, talking about the farmers, will be more expensive to export, which will result in reduced profits and lost customers. Even worse, farms and ranches that have been in families for generations must be sold simply because the president's isolationist and unlawful approach is, incongruous with the international market with which these farmers and ranchers have been dealing and relying upon for decades. Montana Farmer Union members do not have robust markets in the United States for the crops they grow, and those markets cannot be developed overnight. In other words, this is our biggest trading partner. They're buying $839 million worth of goods from us each year. $839 million. And now that entire industry that is propping up a good portion of Montana farmers, poof, gone. and you think, oh, we
I have some major breaking news. 12 states have filed a major lawsuit against the Trump administration and the International Court of Trade. They all state, get it, state, that Donald Trump did not have the authority to implement these tariffs. Now, I was just thinking, here we go. So, Donald Trump increased these tariffs, went all across the world with these massive tariffs, China 145%, and all these tariffs were supposed to bring back and make it equal trade, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they were supposed to bring back business to the United States, to have companies come to America. Well, all of a sudden, he is getting rid of all these tariffs. It wasn't quite working out the way he wanted it to. Everybody, the stock market, everything was just sinking, the economy. So then he put a basic 10% across the board, except in some countries he left the tariffs. So let's fast forward to today, where he said he wanted to decrease China's tariffs because it wasn't quite working out so well, and that it was for the national, blah, whatever it was. So he wants to reduce the tariffs to like major, like 35% on some of the exports, but other tariffs he's going to leave at 100%. Well, my question is, when is the big businesses coming back to the United States? Because I don't see it happening. And it's not going to happen. Because you know why? It costs a lot of money to have your business here in the United States. Number one, the amount of money it costs to purchase land, to build a factory, and to what you have to pay the workers, because they want a nice wage. Nobody's going to work for very cheap wage. So I guess he's starting to figure all this out. And that's why we need China's merchandise. So without doing business with China and all the other countries and getting their merchandise and then buying some of our stuff, it's a big problem. So Donald Trump, in your big dreams of making all these businesses come back to the United States, it's not happening. It is called the supply chain also. And so when people say that, businesses say that things are made in the United States, not all the components are made in the United States. It comes trickling down the line from different countries. So I'm not no mathematician, but here we go. The supply chain, when you put 145% tariffs on certain items, it's going to increase everything down the line till you get to that product. So there's the math lesson, and there we go, Mr. Trump. Your tariffs aren't going to work. It backfired on you. If this app happens to go away, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Mike Sipple21, or my new Substack, Michael Sipple21.
Hi friends, I'm confused again and I need someone to explain MAGA logic, because here we are. So the White House is trying to now persuade women to have more children, right? And they are going to give these women $5,000 to have babies. Okay, what do you think $5,000 is going to do for us? Because it sure isn't even going to come close to covering the cost of getting the child here. It won't even cover the cost of like 2 years worth of food. And that's if you don't use formula. It's definitely not going to cover clothing for more than a couple of years. Like, do you know how much it costs to go to in-state college? It's like $108,000. So now it'll be $103,000. Okay. So you want us to have more babies, but you don't want to do anything to help us. Like, you don't want to give us reproductive rights. You don't want to give us affordable health care. You don't want to give us affordable housing. You don't want to give us paid leave, which we will have to take while we're recovering from having all of these children. You don't want to give us equal pay. You want to take away education and leave us to raise these children in a world where you think you're the smart ones. Like, okay, sign me up. Like, what are you doing?
Whether we admit it or not, these tariffs will not reduce the price of goods. It will not reduce the price of anything. No matter how you try to force it, it will not also bring in manufacturers to come into the US, because it's going to cost them a lot for them to move their manufacturing company from wherever it is down to the US. Even when they decide to say, you know what, let's just have another manufacturing branch in the US, it's still going to cost them a lot of money, right? The labor in US is not cheap, and that's what people are trying to explain, right? That's what Democrats have been trying to explain all along, that labor here is not cheap. You have to understand that you have to pay a lot of money to employees that will be working in that particular firm. So you as the employer is going to spend a lot of money to bring in your manufacturing company into the US, unlike where you have other countries where you have cheaper labor, access to raw materials. Then of course you have other people who buys directly from you in those countries. So bringing in manufacturers into the US is not the problem, but it's the cost that they will incur to bring in those companies into the US that is the matter. And not like you're going to be giving them free money. You're expecting them to just pack their load, pack everything that they got, and just move to the US. Have you considered where they're going to get the raw materials from? So most times when I see MAGA supporters trying as much as possible to defend their principle for all that, all the tariffs and all the policies that is been passing, I'm just like, do you guys really take time to really understand what you are saying? Because people are going to spend money. And the reason why people are in business is because they want to make money. No business owner wants to spend money without getting it back. So what's the need of investing in something that you we run short of money for, right? So you bring in this company to the US, you don't have access to raw materials. You have to go buy raw materials from countries that have been tariffed on already. So you're going to be paying those tariffs yourself because your company is in those, your raw materials is in those countries. And not only that, you'll be paying higher wages to your workers because the country where you're bringing your stuff, your manufacturing company to, has higher wages than where you're coming from. So at the end of the day, you might not be making lots of money. It's okay to pay wages to your staff, right? But what is not okay is not making money at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you see you made a lot of revenue, but when you have done the profit and loss, you find out that you spent more than the profit that you have, accrued the whole year. Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, right? Let's just have that conversation. What's your thoughts about all of this whole thing that MAGAs are saying and people are saying on the internet? And of course, do you think that suing the current administration is going to change anything at all? Let me know what you think in the comment. Let's have that conversation in the comment section. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.